Hi there guys, how's it going? So we have a article from Andy Jones at The Athletic. Now, I kind of liked the last few things I've read from this guy, I'm not gonna lie. Um, this one is titled as Liverpool's transfer window, no short-term signings represent a major gamble. And that's kind of why I like him. Like, he doesn't toe the line in the last few articles that he's written. He actually says what he actually thinks and stuff like that. So yeah, I like it. We're going to go through his article. Let me know down below what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit the hype button if you can do. Let's get into it. So, it says here that after a summer of frenetic activity, Liverpool took the opposite approach in the January transfer window. Despite the struggles that Arne Slot and his team have endured defending their title, they decided not to try to fix things through the market, but put faith in the current squad for the rest of the campaign. They obviously signed Jeremy Jacquet, and then he just puts, was this window a success or a failure? Now, I know many of you straight away are going to say failure, but in the comments, let me know what you think. Liverpool entered January expecting a quiet window, and that's exactly what it was. On a fundamental level, it can't be considered a failure. However, when you look at the limited size of their squad, the failure to strengthen key areas leaves them in a precarious position. It only needs one or two more medium to long-term injuries. I would say any injury, to be fair, on top of those that have already happened, and a player pool that is short, and a player pool that is on the limit could be pushed over the edge. They did make a late attempt to try and sign Geertruida, but the complicated nature of the deal meant that they were unable to get it over the line. At least they got Jeremy Jacquet for the summer. How much did they spend? How much did they bring in? I don't really touch this. They could have sold Robbo for 5 million. Elliott's situation remains unchanged. I've just covered that in another video. Who have they signed? Jeremy Jacquet, and obviously signed a couple of youngsters for 3.5 million in total. Were there any deals they wanted to do that they didn't get over the line? Mark Gahey was agonisingly close to becoming a Liverpool player in the summer, and there was an expectation that they would look at that in January. Instead, City ended up signing the 25-year-old, with Liverpool deciding not to pursue the deal as it didn't make financial sense. Again, I don't believe that, but who am I? The club were adamant that any January signing would be made with a view towards the long term, rather than opting for a short-term fix. But the injury to Frimpong, which has left Liverpool now without a fit right back, did alter that, which is then why they went to try and sign Geertruida. Are there any obvious gaps in the teams? And he just puts, where do you start? Which I kind of like. After the Gay deal fell through and the summer signing of Leone had a season-ending injury, Liverpool are light at centre-back. Gomez is the only backup to Virgil and Canate. Another issue has been the lack of depth in the wide areas after they decided not to replace Diaz. Outside of Gakpo and Salah, Slot has Chiesa, who he is reluctant to use. Rio Angamoa, who is managing carefully due to his age, and Wirtz has played on both flanks and Frimpong on the right, but they're not their preferred positions. The struggles of both Gakpo and Salah for form have not helped, but the squad is also lacking certain characteristics, including pace and one-on-one duel winners. Right back has been a persistent problem because of injuries to Bradley and Frimpong. The former is not expected to play against this year, which is obviously Bradley, and Frimpong is out with a groin injury. His next question: do they have the squad to achieve their goals this season? Slot is up against it, as he is working with a relatively small group of players. Champions League qualification for next season is crucial, and the hope is that they can make a deep run in that competition this season. Having finished third to qualify directly for the round of 16, where their tie will be either against Atletico Madrid, Club Brugge, Galatasaray or Juve awaits them in March. The decision not to bring in any new faces in this window, though, means their current squad must stay fit. His next question is, will the head coach be happy? And he quotes Slot here saying, first of all, I'm really happy with the squad I have. All the decisions that I made last summer and the summer before, and all these things are completely aligned with me and Hughes and ownership. I think it has shown this season how talented this group is. If everyone is available, how good a team we have. God, I'm going to cough again. Let me get a drink. Andy Jones writes here that the problem is that Liverpool have suffered injuries, and Slot has repeatedly spoken about having to keep up using the same players because he doesn't have a squad to rotate and give individuals rest. So while the opportunity may be aligned across various levels of the club, it is difficult to see how he can be happy about the situation. He has a lack of options and the pressure is mounting on him to turn the form around in the league so they finish in the Champions League places. His next question is, what will be their priority in the summer? Central defence was an area that needed addressing, and Liverpool have been proactive by signing Jacquet. That was important because there continue to be no progress on Canate regarding a new deal. God, what's up with me? Further additions in that area may be required, with Van Dijk and Gomez entering their last years of their contract. Adding wingers will also be high on the off-season to-do list. As we've mentioned, Liverpool are short of options there, and with the growing uncertainty around Salah's future. Fucking hell. His next question, oh my days, what is up with me? God, I've got something stuck in the back of my throat here. I'll be coughing up a hair ball or something. His next question is, will they have money to spend in the next window? Yes, although they have already dipped into that. Shauna's going to love that. While they spent 450 in last summer, they also recouped 200. So they remain strong in PSR. They have also generated 702 million in revenue. How much can they spend depending on the outcome of the current season? Liverpool face a fight to qualify for the Champions League next season. Missing out on the hugely lucrative top league would have financial ramifications. Their small squad means there are not many players that they can sell to add funds either. And then it asks here, like, what is their strongest 11 now that the window's shut? And he obviously puts Ali, Frimpong, Konate, Van Dijk, Kerkez, Grav, Maka, Salah, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, Ekitike, which I don't think anyone would potentially argue with that. So that is that article there from, what is he called? Andy Jones, is it? Yeah, that's his name, Andy Jones. Good article. I think there's some decent questions in there that he's asked. I think he's given some good answers as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens, what we regard in the summer and everything like that. But I do hope that Slot can turn things around. You know, I don't really want him to go out on a downer, which I still think that Slot will be replaced in the summer. Unless he wins the Champions League, then I think he keeps his job. But anyway, let me know what you think down below in the comments, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.